Hello and welcome to another game, another video of AAA Wargaming or an Adventurous Adventure. So this is game 3 of Art of War 7, so report number 53. Again, it's against Vampire Counts, though not David. It's against... Oh, damn it. David Box? Yeah, I think it was Box. I'll have to double check. I will get that to you for... No, sorry, it was Sean Baxter. Sean Baxter, sorry, I think. I will double check whilst I'm doing this video about who it actually was because that's quite embarrassing. But either way, so the deployment was for refuse flanks, so halfway across the boards. Hidden agendas was the primary objective, so we'll go on to that on the next slide. And then I had Caesar secure. I can't remember what vampire account had. And then there was no official map because, um, yeah, so. Right, I'm pretty sure it was Sean Baxter. Let's see if I can work out by the end. Either way, so here's the deployment with fused flanks. So winning conditions. If one player is the sole winner of the secondary objective, this player is awarded +4 battle points, and the opponent loses 4 battle points. This replaces the normal battle points for winning primary and secondary objectives. So effectively, um, we chose the one that hadn't been chosen already. So that was, what did I have to do? I think I had to hold the center of the board. Season skill. So I had to hold the center of the board for a bit, and I think he had something fairly similar. I think that was what we did. So my main objective certainly was to get into the middle of the board and hold it there. I'd have to check um, what what he had, but essentially going against VC, I thought this was going to be quite difficult. It's quite a narrow deployment. He just has to march up the center of the board. I can't get around his flanks that easily, and he can just sort of grind me out. So initial thoughts are the objective is going to be difficult, and I think I was going to have to kill points as quickly as possible. So no change to my army list. His army list was he had a bank count, general discipline, dead arrival alarm, commandant, light troops, apprentice occultism, destiny's call, halberd, and the gates of netherworld. So quite a punchy vampire, but on foot, so I can avoid it. He's got a necromancer, light troops with evocation. So between he's got some spells that can reach out. He's got necromantic staff, so he can chaff me up. But mainly he's then got 2 units of ghouls, unit of skeletons, Barricade, Court of the Damned, 2 units of 2 great bats, which is good chaff, 6 ventral hunters with wizard conclave, and then 5 vampire knights. So I wasn't too bothered about vampire knights. I knew how to play them. I wasn't really sure about the 6 spectral hunters, but I thought they're not too bad. My big thing was how do I take on 4 blocks with the Court of the Damned and a vampire character? Uh, I'm still. It was just one of those things where I cannot really go into this. I don't know how to do. Yeah, so I'll see. Sorry, I'm just bringing it up on new recruit pairings. I did do this. Sorry, I did this. I built this PowerPoint over a week ago. Actually, I just haven't got around to actually filming it. So I've completely forgotten. Yeah, it was David Box. So yeah, lovely opponent. It was a really good game. So this is the deployment. So I chose this side, and he got to deploy first. I think that's what we're doing. So when we deployed up, he chose that corner because the hill. I think everything else, that's by forest I put down. But otherwise, with a hill, a wall, another forest here, impassable terrain, a field, and another wall over this side. So pretty sparse in terrain on over the board, but so it was pretty open. So that was a plus side for me. Um, Key things I thought he was going to be spreading out a bit more, but actually what you see is he goes on this side. Oh no, I deployed first. So my thought was he's going to go all the way across here. So what I didn't want to do was just see him advance straight away. I wanted to have the ability to advance him or sit back. So what I did was I knew I was going for the center. I had both my scoring units in the center facing off against this. I then put both my kestrels on the left hand side. Though I need to stop doing that with the Briar Maidens just to give a bit of magical support. With the Grey Tools in the centre, the idea was if he does leave me some chaff or something like that, or that I can advance quickly and overwhelm one side, and then the plan on this side was just to hold up with the Wild Huntsman and try and produce a threat. So effectively, I was going to try and sort of hold here, and then use this flank, which was going to be quite mobile, forwards and backwards, do a delaying action, or advance over and get behind him and try and do some killing. Either way, archers were probably going to be softening people up while I pincer it between the wild huntsman and the eagles in the centre. That was the plan. On his side, he's got. I'll go back one. So on his side, he's got a unit of ghouls, the blackguard, not blackguard. What do you know? Necro guard? No, that's wrong army. What are they called? Sorry, I'm going to have to go back. Barrow guard. That's the one. Barragard unit of skeletons with Court of the Damned, and he's got his Vampire and Necromancer in there, and then he's got ghouls on his side with Vampire Knights. He kept the Spectral Hunters tonight in case I snipe them, and the two great bats because he just wanted to keep them in. But in essence, he's very clearly just doesn't need to rush, and he doesn't want to keep me let me get behind him. So that is fair play. Sylvan Elves turn one. So I've slowly moved up my archers, but I've moved over my eagles to this side because I want to see if I can push this side with my wizard or something like that, drawing out a bit, and push my wild huntsman up. I want to see if I can start pushing in and get attacking his vampire knights and go through on the right flank and just sort of like roll them up. Or I box him in completely. He doesn't feel he can move out, and effectively I keep him back here as long as possible and get as many points in the centre on turn 3. I think it starts. Otherwise, I kill quite a few ghouls with my archers. I know they're going to come back, so it's pointless. VC turn 1, he's not really moved much. He's moved the ghouls off the hill, and he's starting to spread out a bit more. But he's moved the Spectre on his back, so I'm not in range. But he hasn't come and advanced me at all. He certainly hasn't moved his Vampire Knights into range of my Wild Huntsman. So although that looks close, that is out of range. So I can't charge in there. Other than that, you can see he raises the ghouls back from this next picture. You can see here what I'm trying to do when you look between the two. One of the things I'm trying to do is intimidate him a bit with a little bit of movement, just to make him feel that he doesn't want to spread out too much, because the earlier he realizes he can run me over, the worse. So what I do is I try and leave one Kestrel unit there, so that it's basically facing off the ghouls. I'm not going to charge, but if he moves up, I'll jump over him, but it just keeps them fixed on one side rather than coming into the center. But also the other Kestrel Knights have come here, so that if he starts making a move on his turn 2, I can charge him with Kestrels here. I've got Eagles here. Oh, he has killed. I've got my Wizard out here now. I've got Wild Huntsman, so this is very much a killing area. Whoever comes out here is going to get charged by at least 2, possibly 3 units. And all my magic support is focused on the center in case of that. So basically my archers get free reign to slowly move up and have a look at that objective whilst trying to keep his as bay as much as possible. I believe the center of the board was around here, so all I need to do is punch forward a bit, or it's basically I've started to put myself in range. Again, kill some ghouls. You can see his, so he's starting to move his ghouls, but the plan is working. So because I've created a massive killing area in the center, and I never was surprised about this, but playing Gavit, like VC have got so much ability to raise, and he's got so many blocks. I thought he was going to go and risk one and just send a ghouls unit right into the center to force me to charge him or take risk with shooting, just to draw me in. He didn't. He sat there, and I was like, right, I'm happy to sit here. I'm going to start getting some objective points next turn, so I was pretty happy. And you can see on the left, I've taken a wound off the bat swarm, but it'll probably respawn that. On my turn, you can see he hasn't really moved. Sorry, on his turn, he does move those ghouls back, so you can see there's 9 there. Those are what he's raised, so I'm quite happy to let him raise them. What I'm doing at this stage is I'm just stopping all his damage spells. What I don't want to do is him to cause a panic check or just start plinking off my units that way. I just want to seem really threatening at the moment. So in turn 3, I pick up one of my objective markers at this point, so I'm starting to win the secondary, which means I'm winning the primary. You can see I haven't really moved. He hasn't moved, so I haven't moved apart from my archer block. You can see it's there, so they're now in range of take the objective. He doesn't move forward. So what I've done is made sure that if he does move forward, I'm got lots of charges, and I'm quite happy to do that. So I was expecting him to start coming forward and have to challenge, draw me in. It was becoming a bit of a slugfest. And let's see. Take a few Beauregard shooting. Oh no, I don't. Sorry, no more bait bats. So I managed to get one of his chaps, so I am up on points. 95. Oh, very important. Other than that, my shooting just turned up and I absolutely obliterated the 2 ghouls with 1 unit. I think it really shocked him. But other than that, then we go to VC turn 3 and he doesn't come out. He comes out with the ghouls up the top. I think he just got so bothered by the bat swarms there, he just moved forward, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty happy with this. They're going away from the centre. I'm going to keep drawing them away at this point. And maybe there'll be a gap in behind that I can use. But yeah, still no movement here, which I was pretty happy about. So that meant I was going to be at 1 objective marker. Again, he raises his ghouls, so they're pretty much back up to full strength. But yeah, only 3 more turns. Sylvan Elves turn 4. So what I do is I try and make it look like I'm coming for him. So these are facing in this way, but I've moved the Briar Maidens and the Kestrels back here. And what I'm trying to do is just draw them a little bit further away this way to start manoeuvring around them and start preparing for turn 6 to be in a position to charge turn 6 if necessary. So I'm going to have to use a turn 5 to move into position and start threatening a centre. I'm still pressuring on this side. Basically, I'm just trying to line up those ghouls and go, is there a good moment? Ideally, I wanted to be able to charge them with the archers and the wild huntsman or something, but also if I charge them in, the ghouls aren't that expensive. This unit will go in and I'll just get counter charge and I'll probably die. So I'm quite happy, unless he's going to bring me something out and let me have a better option, which I need to. I'm not going to charge in at the moment, and also I'm going to get the objective this turn again. So I think as long as I can draw turn 5, I'm going to win 4 points and I'll be up. I'll get a 14-6, which I'm pretty happy with against this army with this objective, because I think he was the same, maybe. But either way, I'm pretty happy with this. Not the most exciting game I know, but quite in terms of killing, but actually quite tactical. I've basically created a death trap for Boxy, and he's the one that's got to trigger it. I've got board control. It's quite interesting how this army actually. In 2.0, it wasn't very good. I remember the war. The one before where I had an absolute mare, but actually this one with 3.0 and even more so now with the rules about stubborn and stuff, actually I think it's now that the archers have changed to strength 4, it really comes into its own this list. I don't have to wait for short range. I can really punch out. I can get a lot of ball control and I've got a lot of movement to go and pick my battles. I think it struggles against a faster army like we did last game, but other than that, this seems to be going okay. Yep, turn 4. Not sure. I think I killed a few Beauregard, but oh no, sorry, I killed the other Bat Swarm, so that's why there's none there. So I've managed to kill 2 Bat Swarms. So that's 180 points up for nothing. Not much, but it worked. Or 190. Here's turn 4 again. So now the ghouls have moved a little bit further away. I'm pretty happy. I think there's a gap here I can smooth into, but in short, I've won another round of the objective, so there's only 2 more turns left. I can draw turn 5. I know I've got this. Unless he's going to push hard, I'm pretty happy because I've still got the ability just to fall back. Turn 5, you can see so got VC turn 4, turn 5. Right, you can see I've used. There's a gap here, so what I've done is wrong way. Yeah, sorry, this way. So you can see I've moved these kestrels from there to there. I've moved them round so that they've got to come in. So there we go. So you can see I've moved them. They're going to come in this way, but actually I'm not too bothered about there. They're just in case he starts coming up. I've got them coming in, them coming in. I've still got the wild huntsman here, so I've made sure there's an absolute circle. You can also start to see that my archers are slightly moved back on my turn. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't need to lose a big unit to help him get some points. It's very much keeping him come forward. One thing I had noticed is because he's got magical threats, as his only real thing, what I've done is I've kept my mage in range of being able to punch forward and provide support to these units in this area, but actually I've kept her out of range most of the battle. I don't need to use her as chaff and lose her. But what I've got now is I've got some good ball position. So if he comes forward, I'm going to have multiple charges on whatever unit he's got. Um, and I think it's probably too late now for him. So I've probably got the primary objective, which a secondary objective means I've got the primary. And his kind of choice, he's got 2 more turns. He might as well. He's either got to risk it and get more, or to get closer to get 4 points and get a draw, or I could win really, really big. Again, killed a few of the Blackguard. Right, VC turn 5. So what he does is he moves the Blackguard forward to tempt me, but he doesn't leave them in range of the Wild Huntsman, nor the Skeletons, and he backs up with the Ghouls and Vampire Knights. So the only charge I have is I can do that. I can't do that. I can go in there and I can go in there. That's literally it, which means I've definitely won the objective. So the only turn he would be able to get any points in the objective would be turn 6. No, it would not even be turn 6. So I've definitely won the objective. But it's whether I take risk on my turn 6 to charge in there. I don't think it is. I mean, he's got so many counter charges if I go in. Also, in the grind, in 2 turns, he's probably going to take me out. So I think it's unlikely looking at this. And this is turn 6, so you can start to see I literally just start moving away. So you might think it's a nil game, but actually it's quite. I think having first turn in the scenario is I was just able to maneuver around Boxy and create a really bad situation for him where he was going to lose troops, possibly a unit, and it just depended on how well I rolled and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the game. It ended 14-6. I killed 2 units of Great Bats each. He killed nothing. It was 10-10, but I got primary and secondary because of points, and I won 14-6. So actually, a pretty good finish to day 1. I was pretty happy with that. So I finished on 14-28. I think I finished on 28 points. 2 wins of 14, and then or 13, something like that. But either way, yeah, 2 wins and one complete loss. So, but other than that was a pretty good start. So I was pretty happy. Moving on, I didn't go to the curry last night. I was booked in, but I had to bail. I was just so tired that I just went in. I did have a lovely meal for 2 with Darren Williamson, which I did start to fall asleep in. So apologies. Yep. Next game is far more bloody. It's against Joe Sampson and his Orcs and Goblins, and it was very brutal. And then the final game was Darren. Was also quite bloody as well. So this is the last one. It was very tactical. Having a game with Boxy was really it was really lovely, and we had a good chat, and it was nice, kind of relaxed, and I think we both needed that at the end of the day. I think he had some disadvantages because I think if the board had been wider, and possibly if I hadn't had first turn, he could have got a bit more board possession and use it. But I think I was just happy he didn't use his blocks to basically battering around and give me some really harsh decisions. But either way, no, I was pretty happy. I got 14 points out of it. So thank you very much for that. I haven't got anything on the hobby front. I actually haven't done any painting since last time. I'm looking at some devastating marines for Horus Heresy. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a good weekend.